Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Northern Fishing Talk. Once again, I am your host, Kirk Backer. Now, I know I put a video out a couple days ago talking about what's coming up. I got out this weekend, got to do some fishing with my kids up on Cooks Bay off of Lake Simcoe there. I had a great time with my daughters and my wife and that. A lot of panfish. Got one heck of a huge rock bass, well my daughter did, and that. So I didn't get a chance to film it because the waves were a little rough and I was kind of more concerned about cameras falling over and all that. So there will be video coming out of me fishing hopefully soon. I've done the video for the boat. I just haven't been able to edit it yet and get it out. So this is I'm gonna try and do this all in one take. But today I got my lucky tackle box for walleye. So I already did open it just to kind of give a quick look. I like to be a little bit prepared when I do these videos and that. But the one thing that I noticed that Lucky Tackle Box isn't doing, and I've heard some guys say this, is that they're not doing the cards to tell you how much stuff is. Or if they are, they didn't send one. Either way, it's cool. Let me just move some stuff here. So anyways, my first walleye box from them, I've had a quick look. I'm really interested in using some of this stuff. I'm actually quite pleased. So the first thing they sent was this card. And what it is, it's just saying Lucky Tackle Box is thankful to all the men and women that serve to protect the United States. In honor of Memorial Day, we want to take a moment to remember the people who died while serving in our country's armed forces. We thank you and your families for your sacrifices you've made. They do not go unnoticed. I love this, and that I do. I serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. So as much as I love to send money to them, and that I usually send it to the one here in Canada first. So sorry guys, but once again, look after my own. So first things first, the submission. It's by Biowa. It's a 5-inch swim bait. So it's a shad. It's white shad. It actually looks to be pretty cool. I'm just reading on the back here. It says not for human consumption. I would have assumed that. And it's also of a French design for tournament anglers. So I'm actually quite interested in this. I don't use a lot of these, but where I've been going lately up around Simcoe, the water's so clear that I think something like this might work. I don't know how well the white will, but I'd definitely give it a shot. It says on here it's 0.53 ounces or 15 grams. So I'm definitely going to give that a shot. Another thing that we got is a 3/16 ounce Booyah bait, and it's a real craw, so it's just a little spinner bait, and that let's try and do it so I can get the glare off. So anyways, I don't know, I don't use a lot of spinner baits. I've been purposely going out buying a couple, and when I get them in the boxes, I'm really happy because I really want to start using them more. I'm trying to become more versatile, as it were, in a lot of these areas. So I'm looking forward to using this. And the color on it I think is awesome. I like the color on it for sure. The color is Sunrise Craw. So I'm looking forward to using that. Now, walleye tubes. I have so many friggin' tubes. I have such a huge package of tubes. I've got 2 binders and that full of plastic baits, and a lot of them are tubes. When Strike King came out with those coffee scented tubes, I bought like 6 packs, and I used probably 3 of them, and I restocked, and I really haven't used them since, because a lot of the areas I go, I found that tubes really weren't working, and I haven't gone back to them. So this though, I'm actually kind of looking forward to. It's a gray tube with a black and purple flake. It's by Southern Pro Tackle. made in the USA, so that's cool. But it's a small tube, so I know a lot of people think you need smaller baits for walleye. I don't. I tend to use a lot of big baits. That's why that Iowa one, that the 5-inch there, I'm really interested in. But I've never used a gray tube before, so I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to work. But I'll definitely go with that. Now here's one. I have heard of these, and I have some, and I've used them a couple times, and I haven't had any luck. But not to say that they don't work, but it's Mustad's Super Death big bait soft plastic hooks. So the ones that are supposed to, the way the hooks are bent, they're supposed to mimic a dead bait fish. So I'm actually quite interested. Like I said, with Lucky Tackle Box, I love the fact that they give you a full pack. So they're 2/0, they're size 2 hook. Sorry, yeah, they're 2/0 hook. But there's 10 in here. So that's what I like about it, because I can actually use these. I'm really looking forward to using them. I wish they would have had them more would have sent hooks out for the tubes to kind of match them up. But with that being said, I can still use these with a lot of my Senkos and other stuff that I've received from Lucky Tackle Box and other stuff I bought. Now, they sent this out on the last box I got, so I've got 2 of them now. But it's Olympic Fishing, and I've talked about it before. And it's just 3/4 of an ounce, dives down to 4 to 6 feet. It's an ultra lifelike swim bait. And once again, it's the exact same one. Colors are the same. I understand, like I've said before in my other videos, a lot of these baits can be used for many different, for many different species. So instead of, going, this stuff's only going to work for walleye, this stuff's only going to work for bass, this stuff's only going to work for panfish, the guys there have realized and know that a lot of this stuff will work for either or. So whether you get a walleye or a bass, sometimes you're going to get the same. So I have no problem with that. I got a backup in case I break it off, and especially if they are working, I always like to have extras. So this saves me from having to try and find another one. Now this one, I've never heard of this before. I've seen something similar to it, but I've never used it before. It's a zombie minnow, and I really can't get that shine off of it because it is a chrome finish. Zombie Max, it is a 5-inch minnow color. It doesn't say how far down it goes, because it does have that little, if you look there, it does have that little lip at the front. So I don't know if this would be more of a top water walking type bait, or if I will get down a little bit with it. Either way, anytime I get something new like that, I'm really looking forward to using it. So I will definitely be giving that a try. Especially, like I said, where I'm going up around Simcoe, the water's been really clear. There were some spots we went that were 14, 15 feet, and you could still see the bottom. Like, it was great fishing on the Saturday. Like I said, my daughter caught about a 13-inch rock bass that had to weigh at least a good pound. It was great, and she fought it. She brought it in herself, so loved it. Now, of course, you also get your Lucky Tackle Box sticker and your Fish Hound magazine and that. So, I mean, once again, in here you get some really good tips and tricks and all that. So, picking apart pads, story on Travis Moran, tying the knot and all that kind of stuff. So really looking forward to going through this one again, but I have to say, throughout this whole box, there are 2 lures in here that I'm really interested in using. One little spinnerbait, the 3/8 ounce, because like I said, I'm wanting to use more of these, and I'm just wondering if I start off with a smaller one, start working certain areas with it, along weed lines and in weed beds, that this might do something. And the other one, of course, is the swim baits, and that the fact that they're 5-inch, because I don't have any that are 5-inch, and that, so I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, the death roll hooks, the walleye tubes. Like I said, I love the fact that this in a full pack or full thing like this, as opposed to just a few, and that. So I might just take that and put that more with my panfish stuff that I normally use. Now, with that being said, once again, great box, love it. Lucky Tackle Box, love how the guys come up with some great stuff to put in there. Now, like I said, I haven't been able to get any actual good footage of me being out on the lake fishing, or whether it's fishing from shore, whether it's fishing from my boat. I do hope to get some soon. Canada Day weekend's coming up, so we're going to be going up north to visit in-laws, and I've got 3 lakes that I normally go to: Trout Lake, Lake Nipissing, and Lake Nosbazine. So I want to hit those ones, and that, because especially considering August, I'll be up on Nosbazine for a week, going for some pike and walleye and bass and all that good stuff. So I want to get my rig set up a lot better. Now, for those of you that have boats, you might understand my issues. I've driven boats most of my life. Thing is, I've always rented a boat at the place I go. So this boat that I bought is my very first boat, and I'm still learning a lot of stuff with it. The one thing I'm learning is backing up with a boat. First time I took it out, it was horrendous. Very, very horrendous. Especially when I went to load the boat back on, because my wife was backing it up, and the trailer's so light that the moment you have everything going straight, that trailer wants to kick off either way. So we'd have to stop. I'd have to lift it up, move it over, set it down, and we had to do that. This past weekend we took it out. It was probably the easiest time offloading and loading the boat onto the trailer. I did a trick that I used to do in the military when I was driving vehicles with other trailers. I'd hold my hands at the bottom of the steering wheel and go like that, which that helped a bit. The only thing is, know the ramp you're going to, because we're lucky enough that the ramp that we took it to this past weekend, if you go off to the left side, it drops down really quick, and you could wreck your trailer. So luckily, we were informed of that beforehand, and that was all good. But there's one thing that from that weekend that I found out, and it really bugs the heck out of me, and I hope you people that are watching agree with me on this. But when we were loading up the boat, my wife backed it up really nice, and I was getting ready to load everything up, and there's this smallmouth bass that's floating. It's been dead for a while. It's just been floating there. And I don't know if someone, was just being a dick about it, but bass didn't open up until this weekend here in Canada. Well, I shouldn't say in Canada, because every place, regions are different, but where I was, this past weekend was opening weekend for bass. And the smallmouth bass obviously had been there for a week. It stunk to high heaven, and it was just floating there, and no one was bothering to take it out or whatnot. I didn't notice it right away, but I got my boat loaded up onto the trailer, and as we brought it out and around so I could finish tying everything down and all that good stuff, I realized that the fish had got hooked underneath the trailer, and as we came out, it was attached to the trailer. Kicked it off, and the stench was just bad. And I mean, if you're not going to keep it to clean it and eat it, because there are a lot of people that love bass. I love eating bass, but let it go. I mean, we kept some of the perch and the rock bass, and that just so we could get pictures with my kids, and then after that we let them go. So I mean, if you're just gonna hold it, like put it on one of the chains or on a stringer or whatever, just because you might keep it, that's wrong. You just killed a fish that could help keep the population going. And that's the key thing. Us as fishermen, we want to keep that population going, not just for us, but for our kids, for our grandkids, for our great-grandkids, and so on. So if you're one of those people out there that brings a stringer out and you're not sure if you're going to be catching fish, if you're not sure, don't put them on the stringer. Don't put them in your live well unless you know. Well, in your live well maybe, because you can always release it. But if you're going to put it on a stringer, you're going to keep it. One of my fishing trips that happened, a guy and his kids caught like a ton of bass, then decided that they weren't going to keep them to eat. Luckily, myself and my friend, we took them, we cleaned them up, we had a good fish fry, so that's great. So just my little tip, if you're going out there fishing, right off the bat, decide whether you're going to keep them or you're going to release them. And if you're going to keep them, by all means, actually keep them. Don't toss them at the boat launch like that, because that was just a disgrace. And that, so please don't do that. And like I said, I've got the boat. I have the boat video coming up probably next week. I just did an interview for my podcast. It's hopefully going to be on iTunes by the end of July. I'm hoping to get it out sooner. I'm still doing some schoolwork. I got tests. I got midterms. I got an actual final to do in the next few weeks. So I'm trying to get all that done. And in the same time, when I have time to edit videos, edit podcasts, and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're watching, please be patient, and I will have more coming out for sure. I'm also going to have some more tips and tricks videos coming out, and I'm also going to show you some of the stuff that I use for fishing rods, reels, all that kind of stuff. But if you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe. We're going to have contests coming up. The one coming up at the near the end of the summer is going to be for a small prize pack. It's going to have I'm going to send a box out, something around this size, with some lures, stuff like that, stuff that I like, and that I hope you're going to use. So it'll be an array between crankbaits, topwaters, plastics, all that kind of stuff. It'll actually be a nice little box of stuff that I'm going to send out. But to do that, I need for you guys to tell me, 1, what's your favorite lure? 2, what's your favorite way to fish it? And 3, what video you want to see next. I need those 3 things in the comment section. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly pick a winner. I'm going to go through it. I'm actually going to get one of my daughters to just pick a person. And then I'm going to post that video on YouTube here. And then we'll get a hold of that person somehow, so I can get or if you can I'll get a hold of that person somehow, and I'll get the stuff out to them as quick as I can. So once again, thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next show.
Declaration of Independence. Think I could tell you that first sentence, but then I'm lost. I can't begin